Hey y'all, it's your girl Muni Long, and we celebrating Black History Month. When you're making an album as an artist, sometimes it might be 6 months to a year, 2 years before you're ready to put the song out, and it's much faster and a lot more lucrative for a producer, or a manager of a producer, or you know another writer in the room with you to take the song that you write and pitch it to someone else for immediate placement. And so I would run into like people saying that they would be willing to work with me on my artist project, and then a week after the session, I'm getting calls, from business affairs of a label saying, "Hey, such and such wants to cut the song. Can you come vocal producer? What are the splits, or what's your DBA? What's your PRO information?" And I'm just like, first of all, how did you even hear it? You're not supposed to be. I paid for that. And when I say pay for that, I mean I paid for the session. So that should have been something that was discussed amongst everybody. It kept happening so much to where people would be like, "Oh, she's trying to keep every song for herself," and da 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 da. And it really wasn't that. There was manipulation where people just wanted to say whatever they had to say to get me in the studio, so that they could eventually pitch the songs. So it was very difficult for me to like figure out who I was and to get my footing, because as soon as I started kind of finding a little something, here it goes to another artist, and now I have to start all over again. I took on songwriting so that I could like sustain myself, so that I could live, so that I didn't have to go back home to Florida, so that I could stay in LA and afford to be here and pursue my dreams. I always wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to be the one performing. I always wanted to be the one on stage, connecting with the crowd, singing the lyrics, telling my story. That never left me. It just took me, up the stairs and around the corner and down the street to get to it finally, and to gather up the courage to be able to resist the pressure of what everybody else wanted me to do, because that's intense. Like, even now, after they're seeing what we're doing, I got people coming in and trying to tell me, "Well, I think you should do this." And I think it's just a, uncontrollable urge for people in the music industry to just have something to say. But I will say that at a certain point, just like the knot in my throat that I would get when I would show up to the studio to work for another artist, it just became too much. And I remember having a studio session with Pharrell, was probably the last time, for another artist. I won't say her name, just respectfully, but she didn't do anything to me. I just didn't want to be there. I wanted to be working on my own stuff, and I came anyway. And I remember Pharrell, at a certain point, he said, "Well, what's going on?" Like, and I was like, honestly, I don't really want to be here. And he was like, "Well, why are you here?" And then he had this whole conversation with me about me realizing my worth, and knowing that I'm supposed to shine if I'm a star, and you just shine. You don't worry about what other people think. It's just you're enough, and you shining and being great is enough. And that was the day I was just like, all right, let me stop playing and let me go get it. I mean, I love being Black so much. I really do. I love my people. We so innovative and resilient and beautiful and funny, and talented. I think one of my favorite parts about the Hours and Hours challenges is like the showcasing of Black love, Black musicianship, because the singers and the instrumentalists are coming out the woodworks, and I'm just like, where have y'all been? Like, this is what we've been wanting. So it's kind of like, them seeing me take this step and having success is giving them hope. Like, a lot of people said that in my DMs, like in the comments, like, "Wow, you give me hope." Not only as a Black woman entrepreneur, as a Black entrepreneur, as a Black songwriter turned, rising. I mean, it sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but this is what they keep telling me, is like rising star, right? It's inspiring, but also as a married woman who isn't afraid to express that love. I think a lot of people, it's just like that energy of like, I'm a savage, F love, I don't need nobody, that was very prevalent in the last few years, right? Just like negativity around love and marriage. But I feel like this song is just, turn the tide on that. And I love it. I love that. I love love. So I don't know. I mean, just being black in 2022 is lit. I think if I could say anything to the young girls that are looking up to me, really no matter what color you are, but especially if you're a brown girl, just know that you are amazing and you're everything, and walk into the room like you know that. Even if you feel a little bit like, walk into the room like you know that, and everybody else will follow suit. You know what I'm saying? It might feel weird at first, but put on your best outfit, swoop them baby hairs, gloss your lips, put some lotion on your ankles, walk in the room like you know that. And trust me, it will be a revelation to you how everybody falls at your feet. Because we are so fly. We really are.